early day. Can fold. Let me see what they talking about. Let me see what they talking about. Let me see what they talking about. Pull up a chair. Come over here to the round table. We about to break it all down. What up, Ken? We about to break bread right now. That being said, I want to start off sending a shout out to my queen. The queen that had one of the queens that had a major influence. One of the queens that had a major influence on my upbringing. Funny, a red car going by, full of energy. I bet that remind her how I used to be. But yeah, I'm gonna send a shout out to Mama Duncan, Mama D, Miss Sandra Duncan. With that being said, man, as well as my sister, like I said, there's been a lot of queens in my life that had a lot to do with me. Toya G, my grandmama's birthday tomorrow. I want to send a shout out to you. Rest in power. I know you shining all through me, you know, and around me, keeping this ground beneath me. I want to let y'all know something that I learned as a collector from all three of these people. We're going to run this shit down. So, my mama, she taught me how to take care of myself. She taught me how to pull what's within me out. There used to be times I used to be so frustrated with life, bro. So unfulfilled with who I really was. And as time went by, it will only reveal that the more I began to express myself through words, as well as my outlook on the world, I felt less need to be involved in the games that I had been playing before. Whether these games was deemed by some people to be more important than I would like for them to be in my life, it still don't change. Once I got more in tune with reality, those games went out the window. I remember one of the first books Mama had me read was Little Black Boy, and it just really opened my eyes to how this stuff, you know, that we living out here was in books. Like, that blew me. And I'm like, you know, so people do know what we going through, but it also taught me that there's a way to, you know, change how you living. Remember that was the first time I started shadow boxing. And it gave me a sense of development. Because when I first started shadow boxing or boxing in the mirror, I wasn't all that great. But after a while of continuously doing it, as I learned about the character in the book, I began to develop form, you know. So I want to thank my mother for one, showing her undying compassion and love for me, as well as, through teaching me how to take what's within me and bring it out. Thank you. For my sister. We spent many years together, man. And we was the closest out of me and my siblings. We was the closest in age until my little brother. But before then, it was many years just me and Toya. Of course, my older sister Shonda as well, but me and Toya were closer because we were closer in age. And one of the main things I learned from my sister is, you know, I used to ask her when I was a kid, like, when I would see her doing such amazing things of self-expression. Like, I remember being a kid and feeling like I couldn't dance because I was just scared to let go, scared about how everybody was gonna look at me, etc. You feel me? And so I asked her, like, sis, how you do that when everybody looking at you? What if they laugh at you? She said, well, the easiest way for you to get through something, babe, is to do your best. And if people laugh, they was gonna laugh anyway. And as I get older, I want to tell her this. I've come to find out people only laugh out of nervousness for the things that you have that they can't explain for the life of them why they don't have the same nerves. You feel me? It's just what it is. As far as my grandmother, what sticks out right now. Thank you, sis. Thank you. As far as my grandmother, what sticks out right now, because she, might as well say she had a hand in everything that's in my life from the time I met her until now. And I can't really tell you of a time I didn't know her. But one of the things that sticks out right now is when she used to tell me, "What's up, kitty? What the hell you been at? You been over here fighting?" One thing that stick out right now is when she used to tell me, "Baby, you gotta learn how to shut the hell up. You done spent your whole life learning how to talk. Nobody ever taught you how to shut the hell up." Now that's a grave importance to learning to shut up, you know. My bad, y'all. I didn't even realize my phone was doing that. To learning to shut up because, you know, there's a time and a place to talk to people about certain things, you know. And so often we feel like when people talking shit, we gotta respond to it. But truth be told, you know, people can't argue by themselves. And some things ain't worth your energy. But I will tell you this. Now that my grandmama gone, since some shit go on that really requires my attention, I don't even say really, that requires my attention, it won't be nothing you can do to shut me up. Nothing. And what grandmama would have spoke, I speak for her. So, just so you know, I ain't lost on none of that. And one last jewel for those who chose to stick around. For my brothers, even my sisters, that's, you know, out here currently looking for a mate or, you know, in that range to where you open to it. All right. That woman or man that you go out there, that you feel like it's special, a lot of times when you first approach, they would be very standoffish. They might be very closed up because, like you, they have been hurt. Like you, they know they must shield their feelings in order to keep from letting these things change them to something that they don't want to be. So don't take it personally every time that when you approach somebody to speak or you approach them to talk, that they feel away. Like, you know, they try to stay off to the side or they try to make sure it's distance between you and them. Because I know for me, I try to make sure that any sister or even brother know that I'm not here to be a threat to them. So the moment that my emotional intelligence conceives that it's a problem, I tend to move around and increase the distance between them and me. But today, I just thought about that. I was like, you know what? Me knowing I don't mean no harm, me knowing what's going on, next time I'll push a little further. I'll push a little further just to show that I am truly a friend. And that's really what it is. A lot of times, people want to see if you're going to go the extra mile. And they're going to test you early. They're going to test you early. But the more you become sure of yourself, the more confidence you develop, the more you're going to require others. Or yeah, I would say the more you require others, even if you don't even recognize that that's what you're doing. Perfect example of that is my mother Vita. I remember when I was younger, people used to always come around, but when they would come around, I would notice a difference in how they act when they were around my mama versus how they would act, and even my grandmama, versus how people would act when they got out in the neighborhood. And it's basically just that, man. What you put out here, it come back. How you act with people is how they have no choice but to act with you. So don't be out here on that rah-rah trying to keep up with the youngins of the day when at the end of the day, they looking to see who they can look to for help. But too many of the elders looking just like them. So as far as they're concerned, you don't know shit. You know, they trying to figure it out. And if you doing the same thing as them, subconsciously it lets them know you trying to figure it out too. I don't know, you trying to figure it out too. I remember them days too. I remember them days, but I was just thinking about that, how I used to be running up and down the streets, and I wondered if the old heads ever looked at me and was like, man, that boy, he swear he grown, or he just got that wherewithal as though he know what's going on. When I look back, I really did have that wherewithal as though I knew what was going on, and it was simply because shit, I ain't recognize with being a kid and none of that shit was. Felt like I was just as aware or as grown as everybody else. It's just I had to figure out how to express it in this vessel. I used to be so mad I couldn't express what I really felt. How y'all doing? Y'all getting ready for the game today? Yeah. All right. Have a good game, man. Good luck, bro. No problem. Man, I remember them days, but I used to, man, I used to be that dude on that shit, but, you know, I'm still that dude at this. You know, you gotta just take that same intensity and take that drive and apply it to everything that you do. And one thing I have to talk was to go to heaven and come back to hell and teach. Hit that subscribe, hit that notification bell. Make sure you share this with people. As we know, this will be an edifying message. Why? Because we intended it to be.